At midnight, something is supposed to change. Messages are expected. The day is meant to feel heavier, brighter, louder than the one before it. And yet, for some people, the clock turns, the date changes, and nothing inside them moves. They wake up the same way. Drink the same tea. Step into the same life without needing acknowledgement. To the outside world, this can look cold, distant, even sad. But psychology suggests something far more interesting. When a person treats their birthday like a normal day, it is rarely because they feel unimportant. More often, it is because they refuse to let a calendar decide their value. In the quiet choice to stay ordinary on a day meant to be special, there is often a powerful statement about identity, emotional control, and how the mind learns to measure meaning. When a person treats their birthday like a normal day, the behavior often reflects how their identity is structured internally rather than how much they value themselves. In clinical psychology, self-worth can be externally anchored or internally regulated. People who anticipate birthdays intensely tend to experience validation through recognition, attention, and symbolic milestones. In contrast, those who downplay the day often possess an internal reference point for worth. Their sense of identity is not reinforced by events, it is maintained by continuity. The mind does not register the birthday as a moment of emotional gain or loss, but simply as another passage of time. This pattern is frequently seen in individuals who developed early emotional independence. They learned, sometimes unconsciously, that stability comes from self-containment rather than from external affirmation. As a result, celebration can feel unnecessary, even mildly uncomfortable, because it introduces expectations they did not ask for. There is a subtle psychological autonomy at work here. The individual decides when meaning is assigned, rather than accepting meaning imposed by social norms. From a psychiatric perspective, this does not indicate emotional numbness. In fact, these individuals often feel deeply, but privately. They tend to experience satisfaction through progress, competence, and internal coherence rather than through ceremonial attention. Birthdays interrupt routine, and routine is psychologically regulating. For minds that value predictability, maintaining normalcy is not avoidance, it is emotional self-care. However, this behavior can also emerge from repeated disappointment. When early birthdays fail to meet emotional needs, the brain learns to lower expectations as a protective strategy. Over time, the day loses symbolic weight. The individual does not reject celebration, they detach from anticipation. This detachment is adaptive, not tragic. It prevents emotional dependency on others' responses. Ultimately, treating a birthday as ordinary often signals a mature relationship with time. The person does not require a specific date to reflect, feel grateful, or assess their life. Meaning is distributed across days, not concentrated into one. And psychologically, that suggests a mind that values substance over symbols, and internal balance over external confirmation. Another important psychological layer behind treating a birthday like a normal day lies in emotional regulation and control. For many individuals, birthdays create an unspoken emotional contract with the world. Attention will be given, care will be shown, and affection will be demonstrated. This contract, however, is uncertain. People may forget, disappoint, or perform affection mechanically. For someone who is psychologically sensitive to emotional inconsistency, minimizing the importance of the day becomes a way to maintain control over their internal state. If nothing is expected, nothing can be taken away. In psychiatry, this pattern is often linked to adaptive emotional restraint rather than emotional suppression. These individuals are not disconnected from feeling, they are selective about when and where emotions are allowed to surface. Public celebration requires vulnerability. It invites others to observe one's reactions, gratitude, joy, or disappointment. For a person who values emotional privacy, this exposure can feel intrusive. Treating the birthday as ordinary is a boundary, not a withdrawal. There is also a strong association with realism. Some minds are acutely aware of the symbolic nature of milestones. A birthday does not change circumstances, heal relationships, or resolve unfinished ambitions. Recognizing this can reduce emotional inflation around the day. The person chooses to invest emotional energy in experiences that produce tangible psychological returns, rather than in rituals whose impact is temporary. In certain cases, this behavior reflects resilience built through responsibility. Individuals who have spent much of their life prioritizing others, family, work, or survival, often learn to decenter themselves. Their birthday feels irrelevant compared to ongoing obligations. This is not self-neglect, it is a learned hierarchy of importance. Psychologically, treating a birthday as a normal day can also signal acceptance of aging rather than resistance to it. There is no urgency to mark time dramatically. Life is experienced as a continuum, not as a series of checkpoints. In this sense, the behavior reflects emotional steadiness. The person does not need the day to feel special, because their sense of meaning is not conditional. It is already intact, quietly, without announcement. In the end, treating a birthday like a normal day is not a sign of emptiness, bitterness, or emotional detachment. It is often the opposite. It reflects a mind that does not outsource its worth to applause, messages, or rituals. A mind that understands that value is not activated by candles or dates, but sustained by consistency, purpose, and inner balance. While some celebrate to feel seen, others remain ordinary because they already see themselves clearly. Psychology reminds us that meaning does not require ceremony to exist. Some people honor life quietly, by showing up, by continuing forward, by refusing to let a single day define their significance. And in a world that constantly demands performance, choosing normalcy can be a powerful act of self-possession. The strongest identities are not always the loudest. Sometimes, they are the ones that pass through their birthday unnoticed, not because they feel small, but because they no longer need proof that they matter.